So in this video, we're going to go through the general ledger and take a look at some things that you can use to help research problems and things that have happened to kind of get a chronological list of things in the order that they actually took place. Now, right now, the two main things that I want to point out are the Gen ID, which is this element here, and then we also have a transaction ID, which is right beside it. And you'll notice looking up and down the page that all of the Gen IDs change for each individual record that goes onto the general ledger. And you'll notice that the transaction ID is usually consistent for everything that happened at that point in time. So as an example, we're looking right now at a purchase order and we're looking at the receiving of this purchase order. So when we received it, we actually received 5 or 6 or 10 or 20 different units all at the same time. And while each one of those entries has a different Gen ID, they all share a transaction ID. So it gives you a way to tell what happened and when it actually happened on the general ledger. Now we're actually looking at the end of the general ledger entries. And again, we can see up here at the top, all of these transaction IDs are all similar to the ones that we were looking at a moment ago. But one thing that you're going to notice as we go down here is that this Gen ID or transaction ID actually changes. So there's something that happened here different than what happened up above. And then again, here and here is another different transactions. So these two are related and these two are related, and then everything up through here is all related. But the point is that because these transaction IDs are different, it lets me know immediately that these things did not happen at the exact same point in time. So taking a look at this a little bit farther, we can see who the user was that actually created this journal ledger entry. And then we've got a general description of what that thing was. So here is an example of changing the cost of a major unit. So one of the items on the screen, and we can see the stock number here of the unit that we changed, we reduced the price by $5. So this account here, or this column, is our debit column. This is our credit column. And so we can see, looking at this, that this account was whatever account was attached to the unit. And then here is our inventory account. I'm sorry, this is the account for the PO, and this is our account for the unit. And so we debited our inventory, we increased our inventory, and we reduced, and we also, not reduced, we also increased the amount of the payable. So that lets me know immediately that we changed the price of this unit and added $5 to the price or to the cost. Now, in addition to that, we can look down a little bit farther at this other transaction, and we can see that at this particular point, again, this user is the one that did it, and then we can see that we added a discount to the purchase order. So the point here is that by looking at the general ledger and looking not only at the dates, which we have over here on the left, but paying attention to our Gen ID and our transaction ID primarily, we can tell whether something was done along with the other things that we're looking at, or was it done separate afterwards or before it. And this goes for looking at a major unit. When you're looking at the GL hits on a major unit, you can tell when it was received, when it got refinanced, when it got put on a PO, just by looking at the transaction ID that you have on the general ledger that references those GL hits.